Welcome back to JF News, everybody. It has been quite a week since we last talked, huh?
Yeah, a bit of a whirlwind, right?
Definitely. Hope everyone, got to enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, relax a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Take a little break from it all. But the news cycle never sleeps, right?
Oh, keeps turning.
It does. So we're back and ready to dive into some of the biggest stories that caught our eye this week. We've got an absolutely insane lottery win, a controversy that's shaking up the chess world, and a tragic plane crash that's left many heartbroken. So this deep dive is going to be a bit of a roller coaster, so buckle up.
Yeah, it's really quite the range of human experience we're going to be talking about today. You know, from the thrill of sudden wealth to the clash between tradition and change, and then ending on a note of profound sadness and loss.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's start with something that's sure to spark some daydreams. A Mega Millions jackpot that reached a mind-boggling $1.22 billion. I mean, can you even imagine that kind of money?
Wow, it's hard to even wrap your head around it, right?
It really is. And to make it even more incredible, the winning ticket was sold in Cottonwood, California. This is actually the fifth largest Mega Millions win ever. Talk about California dreaming, right?
It really makes you wonder about what happens when someone wins that kind of money. How does it change your life? I mean, imagine everything changing overnight.
I know, it's wild. Well, as far as this particular winner goes, they have a pretty interesting choice to make.
Oh, how so?
They can take the whole amount as an annuity, which would mean they get payments over 29 years, or they can take a lump sum, which would be about $549.7 million. Now, here's the crazy part. California doesn't tax lottery winnings. So they're actually getting a much better deal than winners in other states.
Oh, wow. That's a big difference.
It is. Now, we still don't know who the lucky winner is, but we do know who sold them the ticket. Jaspal Singh and his family. They own a convenience store in Cottonwood. And get this, instead of, running off to a private island, they're planning to use some of the store's commission to give back to their community, especially during the holidays.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. Pretty heartwarming, isn't it?
It is. And it wasn't just them celebrating either. Remember, there were a bunch of other tickets that matched 5 of the white balls.
Oh, yeah.
5 people in Arizona, Missouri, Texas, and even 2 more in California won $1 million each.
Wow. Talk about a lucky streak.
It really was.
It's like Mega Millions decided to spread a little holiday cheer all over the place.
That's a nice way to put it.
I like the way the Mega Millions director Joshua Johnston put it. He said, quote, "What an amazing present this holiday season." It really is something special, isn't it? Sometimes a little bit of unexpected joy is exactly what we need.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It reminds us that even with everything going on, there's always room for hope and a little bit of wonder.
For sure. But get ready for a story that takes a hard left turn. From joyous celebrations to a heated debate that's rocking the world of chess. And believe it or not, it all comes down to a simple fashion choice: jeans.
It sounds almost ridiculous when you put it that way.
It does, right?
That's right. Yeah, but it really got me thinking. This story raises some pretty important questions about tradition and modernization, like how do we adapt to a changing world? And it's something that goes way beyond just chess.
Absolutely. And it's especially interesting because it involves Magnus Carlsen, the chess superstar, 5-time World Rapid Chess Champion.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, he was at the World Rapid Chess Championship ready to defend his title. And then suddenly he withdraws from the whole tournament. And the reason?
Yeah.
He got fined $200 for wearing jeans.
You're kidding?
Nope. The International Chess Federation, they're called FIDE, they have this really strict dress code. And jeans, big no-no.
Wow, who knew?
Right. And they even gave Carlsen the chance to change, but he refused. So he ended up forfeiting a match, and then he withdrew from the entire championship.
It seems kind of extreme, doesn't it? Just for wearing jeans?
You'd think so, right? But this wasn't just about a fashion faux pas. Carlsen is known for challenging the status quo in chess. I mean, he's actually withdrawn from tournaments before because he didn't agree with the format. So this was definitely a statement. He's basically saying these dress codes are outdated and irrelevant in today's world. And a lot of people agree with him.
It's definitely got people talking.
It has.
Yeah.
And, Carlsen didn't hold back either. Remember that social media post he made?
Oh, yeah.
He posted a photo of his jeans with the caption, "Outfit of the day."
Classic Carlsen.
Right. And the chess world just exploded. Players and fans are all arguing about it. It's really sparked a conversation about how we balance tradition with the need for change, even in a game as old as chess.
Yeah, it makes you think about how quickly the world is changing. and how we need to be willing to adapt even to things that seem set in stone.
It really does.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how FIE responds to all this. Will they consider updating their dress code to be more modern, or are they going to stick to their guns? Only time will tell.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
It will. But now let's shift gears to a story that's a stark reminder of how fragile life can be and how important safety really is. We're talking about the devastating plane crash in South Korea involving Jeju Air Flight 7C-2216.
That was a terrible tragedy.
It was. A Boeing 737-800 carrying 181 people, and tragically only 2 crew members survived.
A truly heartbreaking event. You know what really struck me about this story is how a routine flight can turn into a nightmare in an instant. It makes you realize how quickly things can change.
Absolutely.
So let's break down what happened. The flight was getting ready to land at Muan International Airport. At 8:57 a.m., Korea Standard Time Air Traffic Control warned about birds near the runway. And just a minute later, the crew of Jeju Air 7C-2216 declared a mayday.
Wow, so they knew almost immediately that something was seriously wrong. A mayday call means they're in imminent danger. They need help right away. It must have been terrifying for everyone on board.
Absolutely. And then things escalated really quickly. At 9 a.m., they tried an emergency landing, but the landing gear wouldn't come down. Imagine the tension in that cockpit as they realized they couldn't land normally.
It's scary to even think about.
They had to abort the landing and try again. Their second attempt was a belly landing. Between 9:03 and 9:07 a.m., they had to land the plane without the wheels down, which is incredibly dangerous.
I can't even imagine.
Sadly, they missed the runway, they hit an embankment, and the plane caught fire.
It's just awful. And the human cost is just devastating. There were 175 passengers and 6 crew members, including a 3-year-old child.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder of how precious life is.
It really is. There is a tiny glimmer of hope, though. 2 of the crew members survived. They're seriously injured, but they're being treated at a hospital in Seoul.
It's incredible that anyone survived a crash like that. It's a miracle.
Yeah, it really is. So what about the investigation? What do we know so far about what caused this terrible accident?
Well, the early findings point to a bird strike as the main culprit. They think the bird might have hit the landing gear and stopped it from deploying correctly. And here's something that's pretty worrying. Muan International Airport has a higher rate of bird strikes than other airports in South Korea.
Oh, wow. So this wasn't just a freak accident.
No, it seems like a bigger problem.
That raises some serious questions about how they manage wildlife around the airport.
For sure.
Just to be clear, though, the weather wasn't a factor in the crash. It was a clear day with good visibility.
Right. So the investigation is focusing on the bird strike theory and a thorough check of the plane's systems. You know the black boxes we always hear about after plane crashes?
Of course.
Those are the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. And the investigators are analyzing the data from those to try and figure out exactly what happened in those last few minutes.
Those black boxes are amazing pieces of technology. They can survive all kinds of impact and heat, and they give us such valuable information about what happened.
Yeah, they're incredible, absolutely essential for learning from these tragedies and preventing future accidents.
Exactly. Well, this crash has had a profound impact on South Korea and the victims' families. How has the country responded to this tragedy?
The response has been quick and compassionate. Emergency services got to the scene within minutes, and they did everything they could to put out the fire and search for survivors. South Korea's acting president, Choi Sang-mok, has declared a 7-day period of national mourning. It shows just how deeply this tragedy has affected everyone.
It's heartbreaking to think of all the families going through this.
It is.
And how has Jeju Air responded?
The CEO, Kim Lee-bae, has publicly apologized. He expressed his deep sorrow and offered condolences to the victims' families.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and he's promised to cooperate fully with the investigation, which is crucial for transparency and accountability.
Right. It's a difficult situation for everyone involved. And it brings up so many questions about responsibility, safety protocols, and learning from such a tragic event.
Absolutely. It makes you think about how we can do better, not just in aviation, but in all aspects of life.
Well said. You know, it's amazing how diverse the human experience can be. We've gone from the excitement of a lottery win to the debate about dress codes and chess, and now this devastating plane crash.
Yeah, it's like we've gone through the whole spectrum of emotions in just one deep dive.
We have. And I think it's important to acknowledge that range. Life is full of ups and downs, surprises and tragedies. It's all part of what makes us human.
It's a reminder to appreciate every moment.
And to keep learning and growing from every experience, whether good or bad.
Exactly.
And speaking of learning, I keep coming back to that idea you mentioned earlier about tradition and change. We saw it play out so clearly in the chess world, with Magnus Carlsen's stance on the dress code. But it's something we all struggle with, right?
Yeah, we all face that tension between the old and the new.
In so many different areas of life, from social norms to technology to how we work and relax, there's always that push and pull between respecting the past and embracing the future.
It's finding the right balance. That's the tricky part. Traditions can be comforting. They connect us to our history. But if we cling to them too tightly, they can stifle progress and hold us back.
Right. And change can be exciting. It leads to new ideas and growth.
Yeah.
But it can also be scary and disruptive. Some people feel lost or left behind when things change too quickly.
That's true. It's important to be mindful of how change affects everyone.
And I think all the stories we've discussed today tie into this theme in some way.
Yeah.
Like the lottery win. It represents this sudden, drastic change, a chance to break free from everyday life. But it also raises questions about responsibility, the potential downsides of sudden wealth, how to handle such a huge shift in your life.
Absolutely. It's not just about the money itself. It's about how we adapt to any unexpected event, whether it's good or bad.
Right. And as tragic as the plane crash is, it also makes us think about how we can improve safety. Are we doing enough to prevent these kinds of accidents? Not just in aviation, but in all areas of life. It's about recognizing that we still have so much to learn and improve upon, even with all our technological advancements.
It's about constantly questioning and striving to do better.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm left with a sense of wonder and a renewed appreciation for how complex our world is. From the thrill of unexpected fortune to the challenges of evolving traditions and the fragility of life itself, it's clear that we're all part of a constantly changing story.
And that story's still being written.
It is. And we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Whether it's challenging outdated norms, embracing new ideas, or advocating for safer practices, our choices and actions can make a difference.
Beautifully said. So to our listeners out there as you go about your day, think about this. What traditions are important to you? What changes are you embracing? And where do you see opportunities to make a positive impact?
Don't forget, even amidst the craziness of the news, there's always something to learn, something to reflect on, and hopefully something that gives you a sense of hope and possibility.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep asking those tough questions.